Hello and welcome to Quilt Addicts Anonymous. I'm Stephanie Soebbing. Well, it is Small Business Saturday, so this is usually the day where I kind of like give you a rundown and have a little bit of real talk about how the year has been and give you kind of a behind the scenes look into how things go at Quilt Addicts Anonymous. But I also want to make sure you guys know what the deals are because you all love a good deal. The sales are going on all weekend through Tuesday, so you have plenty of time, but the best stuff always goes early, so shop when you can. All right, here is our list of deals, and you can click and grab the stuff. We will put a little eye up when we put each deal up, so that way you can click and get right to that category. All right, so we have more than 400 bolts of fabric that are on sale for 25% to 35% off. Now, some of these we have a ton left of, some of them we just have a little bit left of. There are some wide backs on there, but they're all gorgeous and they're all modern contemporary fabrics to add to your quilting collection. So this is a great time to figure out what you need, maybe get all your quilt backs for those UFOs that you need to finish up and save them right now and get a discount. All right, we also have a ton of pre-cuts that are on sale. It is 25 to 35% off. Fat quarter bundles, charm packs, layer cakes. We have some strip rolls in there. We found that now that we are online only, you guys really love the fat quarters because we do a lot of fat quarter patterns, but the other things are things I think that you pick up in the store and you're like, ooh, this is really pretty. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I want it. And that doesn't happen so much online. So we're gonna be bringing in fewer of those next year, but right now we've got a really good selection of some fabulous lines that you can check out. So grab those before they're gone, and especially like knowing that in the future we're not going to have those varieties as much anymore because we found that it's just more beneficial for us to bring in yardage and create some fat quarter bundles, which you guys do love, and then we can always have the flexibility to create like a quilt or a bed kit with the rest of the yardage later. So that is going to be a thing that's happening next year. And speaking of kits, we have 25% to 35% off kits. This is quilt kits, bag kits, some home decor kits. There are lots of options. So these are maybe some Stashing with Stephanie quilt kits that we still have some left of. There's a couple of bag kits there still. There's some with My Fabric Nocturne in it. There are limited quantities of everything. So make sure you get in there and shop early. I think at the time I'm filming this, there's only 4 tourist tote kits left, for example, so you're going to want to go and grab those. A lot of them are fast makes, so that way you'll be able to have them made up in time for this holiday season. So it's a great way to get a giftable project that you can save some money on. And also, speaking of bags, we decided to put our bag patterns at 15% off. These are all the So Many Creations patterns that we love from Jessica Vandenberg. We have some kits to go with that, so you can really add that on and save. We are not allowing them to be on back order during this sale because we don't want to hold up the rest of your order as you wait on a back ordered item. So if something is out of stock, like say you get a Brooke wristlet kit and you can't get the pattern right now, because I know that we're already sold out of those, you will be able to order that later. We will restock once everything is ready to go. But so just join the wait list if something is already out that you are looking for. One other thing that we are putting on sale is we are clearancing out all of our bag hardware. All of it is 50% off. What we have done is we used to have all that available separately. People would love to grab it when we did quilt shows, but since we're not doing those things anymore, what we have shifted to doing is putting together whole bag kits where everything is just included in it. So we're not having hardware available separately. So anything that we had from when we used to be a brick and mortar and do quilt shows, that is now going to be available to you at the same cost that we paid for it. So go grab that, stock up, and then you will be good to go for your bag projects for 2023. And last but certainly not least, every single one of the Quilt Addicts Anonymous PDF patterns is 50% off right now. This only works for PDF patterns. It does not work for the paper patterns, but we discovered that we missed celebrating my 100th quilt several months ago. So there are many patterns that you can grab and save some money on. Some of those 100 patterns are in my 3 books, but it's a lot. So go find some inspiration, add up that cart, and get your to-do list ready for 2023. All right, so now it's time for that, like real talk section of the video where we talk a little bit about the successes and the challenges that we have had here at Quilt Addicts Anonymous over the last year. I know when I'm on here, I'm usually bubbly and talking about a new fabric or showing you how to do a technique, but I'd like to get kind of personal once a year and kind of just let you know how the year went for us. I'm super proud of what we've been able to accomplish here at Quilt Addicts Anonymous. If you want to know like the whole story of how we came to be, you can watch our video from last year when I talked about why we decided not to reopen our brick and mortar store and just focus on e-commerce only. And right now we're at a point where we have 5 people who are full-time in the business, and they all get health care where we pay for 100% of their health care, 401k matches, time off. We do cost of living raises. And then we have an additional 9 people who are part-time at varying levels. It runs the gamut, but we were able to add on 1 full-time equivalent person this year. And that's mostly because she wants to be full-time equivalent. She doesn't want the 40 hours because she's got 2 small kids and a husband who works second shift, and it just works better for her life if she's not committed to do 40 hours a week. And then we have another person who we hired on to help with marketing and website maintenance, and he is at 40 hours a week, and it's really exciting to be able to see that grow. We also were able to bring you some new series this year. We did a whole new series. It was like 28 videos on intro to free motion quilting, so that was really exciting. We did another one on everything you need to know to make a t-shirt quilt, and then we just wrapped up one on intro to garment sewing. And so we are always planning more of those. We have some more coming down the line for next year. And so I'm really excited about that, and I'm excited about some of the things that we have planned. Like right now in the background, we have some people working on taking some of our course videos and creating printable instructions. We're trying to do this for all of our courses that we have. And we're also going to be working on developing a Quilt Addicts Anonymous Academy. So what we want to have is where it's more like an e-learning site where you take a course and there are different lessons and there are materials to go with it, like those printable instructions, a pattern maybe that we're using to go with it, and then your supply list of anything you would need to actually do that at home. And we're really looking forward to doing that because we think it'll be easier for you guys to search through. And we also think that it would be another way to kind of diversify our income a little bit because, to be totally honest with you, the last couple of months have been a little challenging. We had a great year. Like, we had experienced really great growth for the first 3 quarters of the year, and we were able to pay out bonuses to every member of our team, from the people who fold your fat quarters all the way up to my husband and I, because I truly believe that it takes absolutely everyone to make a difference and make it matter, and we want to spread the successes out. And I know that you getting a beautifully packaged fat quarter bundle matters as much as you reordering as me coming up with a new cool project. But probably about the time that the Fed started raising interest rates, that's when we started to see things change a little bit. We started to see less growth in our subscription program. We actually started to see some people leave. And I know it's because we're an extra. And sometimes people can look at their grocery bill and their gas bill and say, oh, this is getting kind of expensive and I kind of have a lot of fabric here. Maybe I should take a break from that. And I get that. I understand that. But it's been challenging for us with that. But we know that as a business, it's never gonna be straight up. That's just not how the world works. We know there are gonna be ups and there are gonna be downs. So my job is to just be even keel and make sure that we have lots of cool projects coming your way, that you guys get excited about sewing. And it's always encouraging when we come out with something and you guys are super excited about it and it sells out right away. And we definitely have had those moments too in the last couple of months. But it definitely is, it's a challenge. And I like a challenge. I would always get bored in my previous jobs after about a year or two, because like, I know what I'm doing here, now what? And that, I've never felt that way here. And so one of the things that I've learned this year, as we've had, more people here working for us, both part-time and also our full-time people, is just how to be a good leader. And I think that that's something that more people should be asking themselves. The reason why I started Quilt Addicts Anonymous is I knew that in the toxic workplace that I was working in, there was no way I could give all of myself to a job and also be a good mom. It didn't work. I think that more people need to have better work-life balance. You have your time where you're at work and you give it your all during that time. And then there needs to be this recognition that has an end time, and then you need to go have a life. Whether that means spending time with your significant other or watching a football game, or in my case, running my children here, there, and the other place and being there to help with homework, like that is important. You need to be able to have that split. So that way you can be fulfilled in all parts of your life, as opposed to being like married to your job and then the rest of your life suffers. I think that people should be able to work how and when they want to work in a way that is beneficial to everyone. And we make sure that, people know that we want them to be flexible. Like the most recent full-time person we brought on came from a newspaper world where they were working 10, 12-hour days, sometimes 14-hour days. And that was a world that I knew very well and that my husband knew very well, because we both started our careers as journalists. And that's not a healthy world to be in. You need to have time outside of that to live your life and to have relationships with people outside of your workspace. And so there were many times, like within the first month of him being here, where I'm like, time to go. You've gotten in your 8 hours. You don't need to put in any more. And I do that a lot in my own work as well. Like a lot of times I get in after I drop off my daughter at school. So I'm in by like 8:15, 8:30. And then around 2:50 or so, it's time to go pick her up from school. And then 4 nights a week, I'm running children all over the place until about 6, 7 o'clock at night for various dance classes and choir and piano lessons and whatever else. I do kind of miss like the quiet that was the pandemic. But a lot of times, my daughter's new dance studio is fabulous because there's great Wi-Fi and workstations and power cords and everything's nice and bright. And a couple weeks ago, I wrote the entire Stash with Stephanie pattern with the fabric you see behind me while I was there for 3 hours while she was doing dance classes. And so that's kind of how I split my day up. I get as much done as I can while I'm here, and then I work a little more while I'm waiting around for children while they do various activities. And occasionally I've just had enough for the day, or maybe I've actually gotten in a full 8 hours and I don't feel like I need to do anymore. And then I'll sit and knit something. So I've knit quite a few things this year, but that works great, and I think that you have to treat people as the adults that they are and allow them to make decisions about their own workflow and what works best for them in what they have to do for work and what their demands are at home. And I think that too many employers don't do that and don't take into account the fact that people need downtime outside of work. So I'm always trying to think about that for my team. Basically, I think about what crappy thing did every single boss ever do that I worked for, and we're going to do the exact opposite of that. Like, I worked in a newspaper where the answer to balancing budget was to lay somebody off. That would never be an option for me, because the people matter. And when you treat people like adults and let them make their own good decisions, then that is when you do run into a time where things slow down, that I know my team has my back 100% and is going to do whatever it takes to pull it out, because they know that when we're successful, that they are successful. And it's an exciting thing to like be at this stage and to be at this level where, you know, I know that I have a whole team that has my back because I have theirs. And I think that more companies and more bosses need to be like that, because if somebody's got something going on in their life that is making things difficult, just in general, like that, you can't just leave that at the door. So I want to know, so I know how I can support someone both in the good and in the bad. But that's kind of where we're at. You know, we're always trying to evolve and think of like what the next thing is. So I'm really looking forward to next year and creating the learning site and coming up with more things for you. And I don't know, I've been a little rambly, but basically it's been a really fun year. We've expanded some more. We've grown some more. We're not quite going to hit the goal that I set out for the beginning of the year in terms of where I wanted us to grow to, because inflation has sort of like popped that balloon. But I think we will next year. So that's really exciting, because the bigger we get, the more we can do for you. We put out so much more video content and learning content this year, both in long form video and bite-sized shorts, to hopefully help you guys become better quilters and learn more. And I mean, that's always our goal. Our goal is to make you a better quilter, a better crafter, and be able to support you in that. And our hope is that then you in turn support us by getting the supplies from us when you're excited about something and you want to do it yourself. So I'm very excited. I think we have some really fun things going. You know, I think the more we support you, obviously the more you're going to support us too. So thank you for that. I appreciate every single one of you. If you are a Stash with Stephanie member, thank you so much, because that really is what keeps us going. And if you ever want to come back and you were one previously, that's awesome. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's our subscription club where we send out 10 fat quarters for $32.49 a month. It's about a 20% discount off of what the bundle would cost retail. And then you also get a free pattern each month. You get access to all of our previous Stash with Stephanie patterns for free. And then you get 20% discount on any additional fabrics that you would like to order. And so basically you get to quilt for 20% off. And that I think is a really good deal. Like I've mentioned that I knit a lot when I'm waiting around for my kids at different things, when I feel like I've had enough of work for the day. And I will spend, without concerning me at all, $100 on yarn for a sweater. That is money well spent, because I could spend $100 to have a sitter and go to a movie with my husband and get snacks, and that's gone in 3 hours. That's kind of how I look at my budget for crafting. Is it's okay if you spend $100 or so on it, because it's going to entertain me for way longer than a night out at the movies. And I think I'll leave it at that. And happy Small Business Saturday. We appreciate you, and you're supporting us and our team and our mission to not just teach you guys to quilt, but also be a fabulous place to work where we really respect our employees. And I don't even call them that. Our team is what I call it, because that's exactly what it is. And everybody matters, no matter what role it is you're filling, because it all matters to making you guys happy and wanting to get more fabric from us. So, all right, I will leave it at that. And until next time, happy quilting.